The realm in which we are not free is we are not free from the truth. It is a delusion to think we are free. Welcome back to another episode of the Daily Vedantic. Today's episode is on being enthralled by the truth. Enthralled, such a cool word. Every once in a while when someone uses it, enthralled by a movie or enthralled in a book, a good book, I reflect on, man, that's such a cool word. To be enthralled. But the actual root of the word means to be enslaved. So interesting that we have adopted and adapted this word to mean captivated by a topic, a subject, media, a conversation, an experience. To be enthralled, to be enslaved, to be captivated by something. It's really interesting when it comes to the topic of the truth, because I know in the early innings, man, it was just like, I want to consume as much of this philosophy as I possibly can. Just from the selfish perspective of it works. This seems to articulate, seems to describe the world accurately. It's the manual, as it's often said. Vedanta is the manual for living. And when you start to see, wow, this manual, it's helping me use whatever appliance you have. This manual is helping me use it so much more, so much better than what I was doing before. You go back to the manual again and again and again to get the most out of that appliance. I know in making music with Ableton, I'm constantly hitting up their manual. And it's interesting to be enslaved by, enthralled by the manual for living. This term turns out it's even more applicable than at first glance, because it's one thing to be intellectually captivated by something you perceive as the truth. But if it is the truth, then we are enslaved by it. We are under the rule of gravity. We are not free when it comes to the law of gravity. No matter how much we think we are free, how averse we are to being under the dominion of anyone or anything, well, it turns out within nature, we're under the dominion of a lot. Take whatever you think of you, this independent you, whatever you think that is, put it in space for a minute, and it's annihilated. Take oxygen away. See how long it lasts. Take the dependence on the entire environment, from air pressure to food. See how long we last without it. And we can instantly see how interdependent the organism and the environment actually are. How there really is no separate sense of you that you can take out of the environment and it still exists. How dependent, needed. How you are an outgrowth, an extension of the environment. Even though we walk around thinking, hey, because I'm wireless, I'm separate from this whole thing. And yet we require such specific air pressure. Modify it a little up, a little down. We explode. The requirements are so specific. Dial the body temperature up 3 degrees. Just 3 degrees. And a cascade of conditions, ill health, and ultimate death will befall any of us. Just 3 measly little degrees. We are enslaved to so many conditions. But the paradigm we are the most enslaved to is the truth. Beyond gravity, beyond air pressure, beyond our requirement for the environment we live in, the truth itself. We can, like in each of these examples I've already given, we can delude ourselves into thinking, well, I've got the truth figured out. I know what's what. I know how things work. And yet, so many things we don't want to happen. So much agitation, despite our infinite desire for inner peace, so much agitation takes place within us. To be enthralled by the truth is to, in one sense, be curiously piqued in oftentimes a selfish way by understanding, wanting to understand the truth, the manual, how to do it well, how to do it right, how to get the most, how to get that inner peace and that outer prosperity. But we're also even more intimately enslaved by the truth in that you can try to disregard gravity, but it's going to have its effect on you. Affecting the plane above the roof here, perhaps less than me in my chair, but having its effect. Trying to disavow it or disregard it, the plane that's flying above right now will never get off the ground. Working with it is just another way of saying, under its thumb, under its dominion, working around it. But you better not work against it, because it is going to enforce its power over all of us that are enslaved by it. As applicable as it is for gravity, it is even more applicable to our lives in the manual for living well. To be enthralled by the truth in the conventional sense that we use the word is really just an understanding, a deep, deep understanding that we are enthralled in the classical sense, enslaved by it, in service of it. The common thread, the through line between every religion, philosophy, or therapy is essentially this: how to avoid self-sabotage. How to avoid working against ourselves. All of this is why when you start to see it work, you start to see these articulations map to your experience over and over again, articulated in ways that maybe you've been searching your whole life, you become, in that conventional sense, that colloquial sense, enthralled with learning more and more and more about it. But that all stems from the very fact that we are all living in the dominion of truth. Many of us have experimented with our own ways of doing things, experimented with these delusions of freedom, these delusions of finding freedom right around the corner with just a little more money, a little more name, a little more status, a few more possessions, and never finding it. Never finding it, but finding a manual that helps navigate, limit, mitigate the inner agitation, the stress, the dissatisfaction, the discomfort, the disorientation of not knowing how it works, not having a manual. You start to see it work, and then you become, in the classical sense, enthralled. Or better said, you discover how enthralled, how enslaved we all are by the truth, independent of any delusions we have, of any freedoms we think we have. The realm in which we are not free is we are not free from the truth. In the same way we are walking around the west side of Los Angeles thinking we live in a free country, and yet we're bound by every law of nature around us. It is a delusion to think we are free. In Vedanta, the word dharma means truth. It means duty. It means nature. It means law. In different contexts, it means different things, but when you zoom out, it means all of them. These are all of the areas in which we are bound, where that delusion of freedom falls away and we recognize, yeah, America is free in some sense, but man, there are a lot of constraints. I can't just do anything. In the natural sense, you might be able to jump pretty high, but you're not free from gravity. And this reflection, today's reflection, is on highlighting a sense that we don't think too much about. We don't think we're bound to. And yet this philosophy is crystal clear. We're also bound to the truth. To all of these ideals, all of these concepts, all of these principles, in each of these episodes, we're bound to them, whether we think about them, discuss them, articulate them, reflect on them, understand them or not. Same with gravity. That's why I love this philosophy. Within this philosophy, one word means all of these things. All of the things that we're bound to. All of the things we are bound by. Dharma. Truth. Nature. Law. Duty. Reality. That's today's reflection on the Daily Vedantic. We'll see you next time.